Hello guys, we are chapter 9. The Gong. Just so you know, we're in Wayside School Beneath the Cloud of Doom by Louis Sachar. Louis, the large teacher, was filling a great ball with air when the Cloud of Doom cast its gloomy shadow over the schoolyard. He felt an eerie chill as he pulled down on his air pump. Suddenly there was a loud bang, and the next thing Louis knew, he was lying on the blacktop. He slowly sat up. He wiggled his fingers. He stuck out his tongue and moved it from side to side. He seemed to be okay. He stood up, still a little wobbly. Bits of green rubber were scattered across the playground. His air pump was on the other side of the dodgeball circle. The ball must have exploded for too much air, he realized. He always tried to put the maximum amount of air in each ball. The kids liked them bouncy. The bouncier, the better. He picked up the peaks of green rubber, then another and another. There weren't enough balls to go around. The school couldn't afford to lose another one. He had to sew it back together. In the end, he found 73 pieces. It was unusually dark for the time of day. Hoped he hadn't missed any. The gong, he remembered. He hurried to the principal's office, stuffed cotton balls in his ears as he ran. "You're late, Louis," said Mr. Kidswater, but Louis couldn't hear him. The giant gong out of the office at the bottom of the stairs. At one time, the gong had been bright, shiny, but that was before Louis's time. Now it was dull and heavily dented. A large mallet, also made of iron, hood bolted to the gong's wood frame. Louis unhooked it, and then took a couple of steps backward to steady himself. The mallet was heavy, even for someone as strong as the yard teacher. He handed it to Mr. Kidswater, who easily raised it over his shoulder. Mr. Kidswater had thick arms, a thick neck, and a thick head. Louis started the countdown. 10, 9, 8. There was one red dot in the center of the gong. On the count of 1, Mr. Kidswater swung the mallet and hit it dead center. Gong! Despite the cotton balls, that sound rattled in Louis' head and echoed up downstairs. Louis took the mallet from Mr. Kidswater and hung it back on his hook. He wheeled the gong off to the side just before real children flooded down the stairs. "Hi, Louis. Bye, Louis. See you tomorrow, Louis." They called back to him as they ran by. He smiled and waved, but all he heard was gong. "Why don't they ever say those things to me?" Mr. Kidswater asked a little bit wider as they were leaving the school together. "Maybe if we did something nice," Louis suggested. "Like what? Maybe let a kid ring the gong?" "No way," snapped Mr. Kidswater. "That's the best part about being principal." Or how about getting some more balls for recess?" Louis suggested. "Too expensive," said Mr. Kidswater. "What if I pay for them?" asked Louis. Mr. Kidswater laughed. "You? Where did you get that kind of money? Did you rob a bank?" "I have money," said Louis. "I've read some books about Wayside School." "And you got paid for that?" Mr. Kidswater asked. Louis shrugged. Mr. Kidswater frowned. Louis hoped he hadn't broken a law. "Did he mention me in the books?" asked Mr. Kidswater. "Maybe once or twice," Louis admitted. "You don't say anything bad about me, do you?" Said Louis. "You should write a chapter about me," declared Mr. Kidswater. "Call it The Best Principal Ever, with 3 exclamation points. First, you have to do something that makes you the best principal ever," Louis explained. "Like what?" Let a kid ring the gong." This time Mr. Kidswater didn't snap at Louis. He was thinking about it. Louis looked at the gloomy cloud. He hadn't paid much attention to science back when he was going to school. He didn't know it was a cloud of doom. He had known he would never had made such a dangerous suggestion to Mr. Kidswater.